Ndị be anyị ekenere m unu. Asị m ka nke onye chiri ya zelu. Asị m unu ụtụtụ ọma, ehihie ọma, mgbede ọma, site n'ebe isi wee na-esore anyị n'ụbọchị nke taa na Eastern News 24. Anyị si na ọ ya dịrị onye ọbụla na mma ka bụ ndị na-esore anyị n'ilu akwụkwọ n'ihe anyị na-ebe dị iche iche. N'ụbọchị nke taa anyị si na ọ ya dịrị anyị Igbo na mma, na anyị yarị ka echi na echi ede agwụ agwụ. Ife anyị na-akpọ ya bụ ife wetara n'ụbọchị nke taa bụ ife anyị na-akpọ ya bụ morning tea n'ilu akwụkwọ. Ihe a bụ gbasịta maka ya bụ ihe na-eme na obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya, ana gbasịta maka nwere onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ. Dịka o si dị, o nwere ihe Biafran Prime Minister kwuru n'ilu akwụkwọ nwetara unu ka unu ga ya bụ ife, unu ga-esi ya bụ ife na tinye alụ nke unu ife unu chere gbasịta maka ihe ndị a niile o kwugasị n'ilu akwụkwọ dị iche iche n'ụbọchị nke taa na morning tea. Dịka ị na-ege ya bụ ife, dropkwara your own comment n'ilu akwụkwọ, ọ dịkwa nnukwu mkpa. All right, over to you, sir.
So if you die, you become a victim of the war. The war as of today is not conventional war. And I would like to remind you, I didn't say it. The Chief of Defense Staff, Musa, have on several occasions confirmed that they are at war with Biafra. In the first he mentioned that he is fighting guerrilla warfare. Secondly, he mentioned they were fighting jungle warfare. And then thirdly, he confirmed that they are now fighting asymmetric warfare. I did not say all these things. He said it. So what I'm trying to tell you now is that no matter how they try to cover this asymmetric warfare, which was the last thing he mentioned, that particular asymmetric warfare is happening in Biafra land. Do not fall a victim of stray bullet. When the Biafra Defense Forces, the Biafra Liberation Army, the Biafra resistance fighters will be engaging these terrorists, our plan is to push them out of Biafra land. It does not matter how many years it is going to take. Even one of the Afonja actually explained what I'm not going to call it, but they know exactly the kind of war that we have, we are facing within the Nigeria, with the Nigeria terrorist state. They will be the one to be mentioning it. They will be the one to be saying it. All we have to do is to make sure our women and children are defended. They have come with all manner of propaganda telling you, oh, you are bringing insecurity to Biafra land. He is the one causing problem. He is the one bringing the military and all that. All those lies, does not last long. And I have asked them, when they were killing people in Mazinam Dikano's house, I was not IPOB member. I was not even a Biafra agitator. I was not even part of the Biafra. I joined in 2019. Before I joined, thousands of Biafra has been killed. Thousands of Biafra has been adopted by the Nigeria terrorist state. Before I joined Biafra struggle, thousands of Biafra have died in detention. It was not Simon Ekpa. And what I'm trying to do today is to make sure that the atrocities committed against Biafra people before I even joined the Biafra struggle is revenged. Number one, we must revenge the killings of Biafrans in the 60s. Today, nobody has been tried in any court internationally as for war crime. For the crime of genocide, which is the highest crime that have committed after the Holocaust, nobody has been tried in Nigeria. We will take that law into our hand by defending our land today. In the 21st century, the mark of that, the wound of that killings of Biafra is very, very, very glaring on us today. And what we have to do is to teach lesson to those who have killed us and still bragging after 50 years. After 50 years, they have put a system that have disenfranchised every Biafran, that have marginalized us, that have put poverty as the only inheritance as a Biafran under Nigeria. They enacted a law that made sure that every resources that come from Biafra land is being controlled in Abuja by the Fulanis, while the natural resources like gold in the north is being controlled by them. How can you live in a country such as this, where there are two laws, where they have restructured the country, and in the north, they are practicing Sharia law, controlling their own natural resources, the gold, and the gold that they found in Zamfara belong to Zamfara state, while natural resources in Biafra land belong to the federal government. How do you reconcile that? My fellow Biafrans, this is not the first time they are giving loan or loaning money from outside the country and the Biafra land was excluded. During the time of DK Kweremadu that is serving jail term in London today, they collected loan from China and not Southeast was excluded from that loan. Today, they have also excluded the Southeast and South part of Biafra in the student loan, which is even a very good development because before, during the time they shared the loan from China, they gave at least one small percent to the South then, because then it was not clear whether these people have been deceived or not. My fellow Biafrans, during the time of Obasanjo, when the 6th geopolitical zone was created, in order to divide the Biafra people, divide us into pieces, so that they will tell you that the 5 eastern states is the Biafra they are fighting for. My brothers and sisters, today we have defeated them by defining our map, and that map is undisputed. The only time this particular map of 40 states will be disputed is when we are at the United Nations. When the United Nations will come, if they like, and we are going to again challenge any alteration of this map to the highest level. So everyone today who is very proudly finding himself or herself in the map of 40 states of Biafra must understand that you are going to be protected at all costs. We are not going to cede not even 1/4 or not even one plot of that map to anywhere. You are going to be protected by the Biafra government. I will make sure that everything we do today is using through democracy, not by dictatorship. We have conducted self-referendum, which is still ongoing, and the people scattered all over these 40 states has spoken today, over 50 million of them. 50 good million. How many were you in the Nigeria general election? Because the people are tired and they are no longer interested in Nigeria. Only 25 million. Today we have doubled that number. And this has further shown that not only that these people disenfranchise us, there is no data. It was on purpose. They made sure that there is no data so that they will continue to tell lies about your population. Biafra, we are going to have one of the world-class database system, just like Finland. My brothers and sisters and my fellow citizens of Biafra, I promise you that I am bringing Finland to Biafra. And what does that mean? What it means is that I am bringing a system of government where your right will be protected. I am bringing a system of government where if you do not have money, the government will care for you. I am bringing a system of government where you can stay in your home and cast your vote. I am bringing a system of government where you are going to have a world-class and world-standard national insurance scheme where you can go to hospital and without dropping any deposit, the hospital will treat you. You are going to be examined with the world-class, state-of-the-art machines and facilities. That is the kind of system I'm bringing. I am bringing Finland to Nigeria, to Biafra, and after that, every other thing about security will be a bygone. I am bringing Finland to Biafra, where the political parties will have their elections and the people will make their choice without anybody carrying gun to kill each other. I am bringing a system where you can never forge our national identity card, nor the Biafra passport. I am bringing a system of government where you are going to travel as a Biafran, and whenever you present your ID card or passport, the or immigration authority will already know that Biafra is built on the marble and on stone, that nobody can forge and present their identity card on or the international passport. I am building I am bringing Finland to Biafra. It is going to be a system where when you answer yes, your yes is yes. Not when you answer yes, somebody will go and start investigating it, whether it was supposed to be no. I am bringing a same system, what is going to be the beginning of the civilization in Africa. That is exactly what I'm bringing to the Biafra people. And I know they understand this. I have promised them several times, I am bringing Finland to Biafra. Today, everything the Biafra Republic government in exile has done is exactly the system of Finland. We have adopted the national ID card, which is going to have a very highly secured e-ID card that has the same feature with the European Union ID card. Are you aware of that? Are you aware that the security features of our national ID card as a government in exile and the de facto government who is yet to gain independence, the security feature is the same standard with the European Union? That's where we are starting. Very expensive, but it is worth doing. What this means is that the database system of Biafra is going to be as strong as the Schengen system. What it means is that the system I am bringing to Biafra is where we will go into agreement and negotiation with other world powers and other countries that if you must do business with us, you are going to respect our citizens, respect their international traveling document, where we are going to go into agreement to understand that we need each other and actually they need us more than we need them. So if as a Biafran, you are going to travel to many countries visa-free. I am promising Biafra people that by the special grace of God, I am bringing a system of government where you are going to be more valued than all these countries that are issuing visa or citizenship on investment, where you can travel over 120 something countries when you have their international passport. Biafra is going to be more and better than them. We have something they never had. But today, they are respected because of the system they have built, because they have a very secure system where the citizens of those countries are respected all over the world. My fellow Biafrans, believe me, you will have one day visa-free to America. You will be begged to travel to America, and you will have no reason to travel to America, except when you want to go on holidays. And many of you will not even go to holidays because you are going to have that thing they have in America in Biafra land. My fellow Biafrans, I want to inform you that today we have a very high-level meeting with developers that are already interested in building more than Dubai in Biafra land. I am just overwhelmed and too happy this evening that such is happening. That is the dream I have for the Biafra people. A lot of investors are already coming, knocking at our door. When are we coming? When are we coming? Is it after December? When should we start? The investment they are running, those investors that are running away from Nigeria, they are knocking at our door.
Tupu anyị aga n'iru, biko metụ aka na share button, share ya bụ ife na anụ, metụ aka na subscription and turn on notification. Ọ dị nnukwu mkpa tupu anyị aga n'iru gosiri ihe ndị ọzọ fọnụ.
Way to a better society. Nigeria today has opened what they call Center for Eradication of Innovation. Innovation is part of civilization, and they are eradicating it. So we have different ideology, different belief, everything is different, everything is pulled apart. So the only way we can develop ourselves, attain our potentials, is to govern ourselves in the name of self-determination. So this is the reason we are saying that the world must listen to us now. We have solution, especially to all the problems that are emanating from the West Africa, Sahel region, and of course the issue of the upsurge of terrorists. The emergence of Biafra will first of all cut all the interest that the terrorists have, which made them to start flowing into Nigeria. And you know what that interest is? They are looking for safe haven where they can tap on the natural resources, make money, sponsor attack in Europe, sponsor attack in America, and the emergence of Biafra will stop that. Thank you very much. There are many things to say, but I know that a lot of people are here who want to say something. Thank you very much. This is the
I
reason.
okay.
Freedom or die is our logo and our slogan going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for all this brief, Prime Minister Simon. And the next question will be Mr. President, Mr. G. Eritrea is an independent nation. So what is your government in exile struggle all about? And if you are not fighting for independence like the Biafran people, what is missing from the Eritrean people? Mr. President, are you are on mute?
Yes, I am.
Good.
I say before I proceed with the question, I want to commend the Prime Minister for well articulated and also detailed. I think this is more history we have than ever. A lot of people may not be familiar with the Biafran issue. They might think it's a dead issue, but as you can see, it is well alive and moving. We also have a good friend in them. There's a lot of familiarities that we carry in common, and I think we are together in this fight. Coming back to your question, Mr. KHA, as you might know, yes, Eritrea is independent since 1991. And unfortunately, Eritrea has had high aspirations to govern itself as an inclusive, peaceful, and democratic administration is what we expected. In that particular 1991, not only Eritrea, Ukraine became independent the same year. They decided to go the democratic way. Unfortunately, we went to a dictatorship. And this authoritarian regime we have today, it hijacked the dreams and aspirations. And the Eritrean people have found themselves in a nation without law. We don't have constitution or even any necessary institution. At this juncture, for the last 33 years, no election, no constitution. Where in the world do we hear, where in the world that it exists except in this small tiny Eritrea? You know, we earned our independence through a long bloody struggle, and we paid dearly many sacrifices. But all this, Eritrean people, dignity, the freedom, it has been betrayed. The struggle hijacked by the oppressive regime only to serve the interest of the few. The economy depleted, and the people's social fabric fragmented. So in order to change this is why from that independence, we have people that are not free inside Eritrea. People that live in fear. People that are jailed without any good reason. In this juncture in our history, we have had over 100 factories in our nation, so long before any African nations, but he kind of closed them all. So people cannot function, people cannot work. The single university we had, it has been shut down. We have some colleges who don't have universities, but what we have is 360 underground jails, prisons. People are fearful. They're all running away from home. Our youth, which they are conscripted in the nation for lifetime. This is what some European nations categorize as slavery. This minority level, they work for nothing. They could not go to school, could not work, could not make family. Everybody, as any juncture, I think they are heading to exodus. This is what created in our life before Eritreans are a very strong people. They love their nation, they love their people, they love their culture. However, at this right moment, every child were used to be saying, what do you want to be when you grow up? Yes, he will say, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a mathematician. But today, I'm dismayed to hear any young kid, if he has been asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? He will simply and clearly would tell you, he wants to run away. He wants to run away. So we cannot have this sort of nation building together. And I think we are in a really failed nation as it is. The nation is going the wrong way. The gentleman goes towards the Russians, Chinese at this moment. And we are, as a transitional government in exile, yes, we are pro-West. Yes, we are pro-democracy. Yes, we are pro-justice and for the rule of law. So all of our efforts, even though we have independence, we never had the freedom for the people. Therefore, this is our fight for our people, and we tend to get it to the highest level. And I think in this juncture, it is about time. The time is due for this despotic government. Maybe it's time to leave the nation. Whatever happened did happen. We don't want it to get any worse than it is. So we can restore democracy. We can restore justice. We can let out all those prisoners, political prisoners, journalists, and many women and men that are in jail for nothing. There is a fear, even if relatives, loved ones are in jail, it became a time you cannot ask about them. If you go to ask relatives, yes, you better be thinking twice. And so the people are living in the dark. No wonder they called us the North Korea of Africa. Plus, even worse, you know what North Korea does, but ours, we were given the name the North Korea of Africa, and that would explain a lot. So without saying much, yes, we are not fighting for independence, but yes, we are fighting for our freedom, a freedom at home. And this is what we are fighting as a transitional Eritrean government in exile. Thank you very much. Yeah,
Mr. Viabu, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I've been on mute. Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. G. Mr. Elias, in a short period of the modern strategies involvement with these two governments in exile, you believe have been achieved?
We've achieved enormous success for both the Biafran government and the Eritrean transitional government within just a 2-month period. In the case of Biafra, to be honest with you, when we initially established the relationship with the Prime Minister, there had been, I would say, a minimal or negligible knowledge of Biafra in the United States. Even U.S. officials who dealt with Nigeria were really not aware of the Biafran issue. And we've arranged for the Prime Minister, as well as other members of the government, to meet directly with congressional officials, members of Congress, senior advisors, senior staffers, people outside of the government who are very influential, the think tanks. And within a short period of time, Washington, D.C. has gone from not talking about Biafra to now, as I mentioned previously, being written about in one of the most prestigious think tanks in Washington, D.C., the American Enterprise Institute. So I think it's been an enormous success, and this is just the beginning. And what we've really been focused on is developing the awareness, because once you get the awareness, then you get the support. And this is very important for your viewers who are both the Eritrean viewers, our Biafran friends, to understand, is diplomacy is a two-way street, right? One of the things that I've noticed in some of my conversations with our diaspora supporters is that some of them have the assumption that the U.S. government should somehow be able to read the minds of Biafra, read the minds of the Eritrean opposition, to that without educating them, somehow they'll know what to do. And if the U.S. government doesn't help, it means that somehow they're to blame. That's completely absurd. Diplomacy is a two-way street. If whether it's the Eritrean justice movement, the Biafran justice movement, if you want the U.S. to do something or the international community to do something, you have to educate them, give them the facts, give them the figures. That's what the lobbyist does. Tell them what it is you want from them, and then most likely they'll do it. Rather than not educating them, somehow expecting that they know what you want, and then blaming them when something doesn't happen. I mean, that's completely illogical. So, that's why lobbying is important. And in addition to our lobbying, programs such as these are so critical because we are educating the population as to why lobbying is important, why educating is important, why diplomacy is important, and how that interplays. Now, so we've basically gotten Biafra on the map within a short period of time, and we're going to have a huge explosion these.
Dalụ nne na ụmụ ife ka unu si wee na-esoro anyị n'idu akwụkwọ na Eastern News 24 n'ụbọchị nketa anyị na-akpọ ya morning tea. Unu anụgonu ya bụ ife mgbakọrịta ụka ya bụ ife Maazị Simon Ekpa bụ Biafran Prime Minister or Biafran Public Government na-eze dịka o si dị n'afọ ka o si ada n'iru akwụkwọ. Gịnị ka ị nwere ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile kwugasị n'iru akwụkwọ dị iche iche dropụla ya on the comment section below. Ọzọ dịkwa ka ibi ya bụ na nke a bụ ụbọchị izizi gị na-esorela anyị n'iru akwụkwọ, onye na-afụ ya bụ ihe onyonyo anyị kaba alụ ka ị like ya and turn on notification, share kwa ka o wetakwa ndị ọzọ ụmụnne anyị dị n'ebe dị iche iche aka. Daalụ nne na Igbo ọma na-ege ntị. Oge na-adịrị anya onye ndu ya pụta na n'ụlọ mkpọrọ. Ka emesịanụ ụmụnne m.